For more than 10 years, I worked at schools and offices, and now for about 7 years, I'm a freelancer. And I've always asked myself if our job is something that really defines us. And honestly, I never felt fulfilled as a human when having a job. So today I decided to share with you some thoughts and observations about jobs, corporate culture, identity, and more. Hey my friends, if you're new here, I'm Anastasia, and this channel is about everything that is mindful, minimalist, and creative. I'm sorry I haven't posted anything in a while, so it's a mess of a situation here. I think you know it. So I hope that soon I will be able to share with you a full-featured live update. But until then, please be patient and understanding. So apparently I had to leave my apartment. But I hope to tell you about everything that is going on just after some time. So as soon as I currently can share what I really want to share, I decided to talk today about something that all of us can relate to and something that we can all discuss. So it's job, work, making a living. Everything that I say here will be based on my own experience and life stories of my friends and family, so it will be pretty subjective. And of course, I invite you to share your experiences with me and all the community. And I will break the video into 3 sections, each dedicated to a problematic issue that I invite you to explore. Illusion of safety. I spent 7 years in Moscow, and during all that time I worked for a pretty famous international company. I had quite a good salary, nice colleagues, empathetic boss, corporate holidays, medical insurance, just, you know, the whole package of corporate happiness. And I didn't have any ambitions whatsoever. I just enjoyed my ordinary working routine, which was pretty easy, I must say. I worked as an analyst and a translator. I didn't have to communicate with anyone. It was just me and my computer. So it was just a perfect situation for an introverted HSP. So when I decided to leave Moscow and leave my job and go back to Siberia, everyone was telling me not to do that, but I did. And from time to time, I used to miss those old easy days of safety. Yeah, especially when I left all kind of office job and went 100% freelance. As a freelancer, I never had a boss who stood up for me or who raised my wage just in order not to lose me as a specialist. I never had holidays like normal people because I couldn't afford having a day off while I was still having some translation and copywriting projects coming. I had a lot of insecurities. I was afraid to raise my rates, afraid of all the enormous competition in the market. Yeah, I had a lot of insecurities as a freelancer, and I'm using the past tense here because now the situation is completely different. Almost all the companies that I used to do translations for have left the market due to sanctions and due to everything that is going on, and all bloggers and businesses that I used to copyright for went bankrupt, or they are cutting all expenses, including my services. And don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining here. I'm just trying to explain you the situation, how that illusion of safety is lost just in almost a second. And I realized that I'm in a more privileged position right now because I still have YouTube and I still have some income from it, although it's very limited due to restrictions, and I have no idea how long YouTube will be available here. So I guess it will be switched off maybe like in a couple of days. But anyway, I will figure it out somehow. Yeah. The other day, I've been thinking about my Moscow company that heavily depended on those foreign organizations that have left the market. And I cannot really imagine how my ex-company manages to operate in these conditions. So the safety that I missed so much turned out nothing but an illusion. The majority of big companies don't care about people as soon as they cannot benefit from them. Corporate culture is a very sad and lonely place, and I'm so glad I took the risk and tried to gain that corporate independence. Of course, I don't have any financial wins, but at least I have become much more resilient mentally. Safety means stagnation. As we can see now, nothing is safe, nothing is guaranteed. My mom, who was born in the year when the Second World War ended, used to tell me all the time, hope for the better, but prepare for the worst. And I used to hate that saying because I felt like it was depriving me of joy of life, of positivity. It was destroying the law of attraction, but now it has become my new motto in life because it helps me cool down my mind. I know people who took risks and changed everything that they have worked for many years. I know people who have been or had been staying on their posts for decades because it was their dream job or because they were just afraid to change anything. And I'm humble enough to admit that I'm a coward in so many situations. But what I realized is that the inner coward sits in my mind, and every time when I listen to my heart, my intuition, I don't have any fear and I don't have any regrets about everything that I do. And every time I'm exposed to, that frightening rhetoric saying something like, oh, what will you do with your retirement? You won't survive, you don't have any assets. I try not to freak out. We should always remember that future is nothing but an illusion. We never know what will happen next. And if we silence the voice of our heart, big chances are that we'll be so much less happy than we could be. Symbol of status. It's obvious, we are all judged by our jobs. So let's just face it. Take even business cards, they never tell what kind of person you are, who you are, just what you are. And I absolutely get it. It's just a social norm and a convenient mean of networking. But still, nothing has changed for so many years. Brian, my husband, once told me a brilliant story about one of his ex-colleagues who decided to challenge the tradition of business cards and printed a portion of cards that said nothing but his first name, Kevin. And I thought it was such an amazing idea, a performance act just to question the norm of business cards and of introducing yourself and being judged for who or what you are. My husband used to have a very prestigious and well-paid job that never made him happy. He left everything, gave up everything to be with me, but due to financial struggles, we had to part again, and he decided to take up a service job just to have more free time to talk to me every day and also to be more mobile. And I can't tell you for how many times he encountered very judgmental and humiliating attitudes just because of his position. Well-off people with high social status often look down on people like us, and most times it's not because they're evil or bad people, of course not. It's just because they don't understand how someone in their sane mind can give up money, status, I don't know, anything just for the sake of something else, for the sake of family, love, or I don't know, passion or even art. In the last years of Soviet Union, a lot of nonconformist musicians and artists worked as street cleaners and night watchmen because it was the only way for them to have enough time to create and to feel fulfilled as humans, as artists. And also they had a very bad reputation of rebels and nobody really wanted to hire them. At my Moscow job, I asked for having my working hours from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. I'm an early bird and just the first morning hours are the most productive for me, and also it was a great way just to avoid traffic jams. So that early in the morning was only me in the office and our office janitor, Yana. Nobody really talked to her during the daytime when everyone else was at the office, but then we began to communicate, me and Yana, while she was cleaning and I was beginning my working day, and she told me her story. She was a pharmacist and she had a really good Moscow education. Her and her husband have been trying to have a baby for many years, but nothing worked. And then when she finally gave birth to a baby girl, she decided just to dedicate as much time to her family as she could. And so she swallowed her pride and became an office janitor. Because being a pharmacist is much more challenging, and she just didn't want to lose years of her daughter's life. So she had enough time to work, to be with her daughter, and also to explore her new passion. She was very passionate about photography and she showed me some of her photos that were really amazing. Yeah, and of course she got a lot of moral support and also financial support from her husband, but I still admire her, Yana, the janitor from Moscow. Sometimes a job is one's life purpose. There are amazing scientists, athletes, astronauts, doctors, teachers, just etc. But when our job is not prestigious, it's not well paid, it's not great, it doesn't make us less humans, it doesn't make us losers, it doesn't make us lazy ones. We are so much more than just business cards, right? Some time ago, when the world still seemed quite a peaceful and sane place, I got a job offer to develop a name for a meat processing enterprise. And this business sphere contradicts my moral values, but I still said yes back then, thinking that I would donate part of the money that I would earn to an animal shelter. But luckily, the client disappeared somehow, and I felt a relief because I no longer had to deal with that moral compromise. And honestly, I had quite a handful of compromises in my professional history. So I used to translate for a famous fashion house that still uses exotic leather. I used to work for a marketing company that practiced psychologically unethical ways of attracting new customers, and these are just a few examples. I always felt not easy about those cases, but I still had that idea, I don't know where it came from, that I didn't have any luxury or opportunity to choose. But now, after almost 20 years of working various jobs and witnessing various global situations, I can say for sure that moral compromises have a potential of staining our heart. In my world, with so many restrictions, limitations, judgment, threats, and everything, I think I deserve the right to choose who to be from the moral standpoint, and we all deserve this right. Everything begins with us, with every human making a choice. These days I'm trying to revive my trust in the life and the world, because without this trust every day seems like a fight, and I don't want to fight anyone, including myself. We all need love, a sense of fulfillment, little moments of happiness that don't depend on or don't contradict what we do for our living. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. Please feel free to share what you think, what struggles related to jobs you have. Of course, there is so much more to say, but for now, please stay safe, keep your heart open, and I hope to see you soon. Пока-пока.